And YouTube. There we go. Morning, YouTube. Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, brother.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, that mic is hot. I like it this morning. No, that's good. Yeah. I like it.
Good. Oh, that's that. That's
you sound good.
All right, let's do this.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by me and Ash for free. Looking for a sponsor. 79 degrees in Victoria. Heading to a high today of only 91, but cloudy all day.
91, but?
Yeah, 91 is practically a cold front in South Texas this time of year, but it's going to be cloudy all day. The weather rock.
Any chance of rain today?
The weather rock is not saying any rain today, but the little thunderstorm, little cloud with the lightning thing, is on every day till next Friday on the weather rock.
Okay.
Which is not ideal.
Well, but maybe this is a good place to jump into the show this morning.
Well, I hope so, since the show is on.
Oh, it is on.
It's a good time to jump in.
A little bit of YouTube hiccup, but it's up and running. So good morning to the folks on YouTube. And let's see who else in this morning. David Rice, first in, wins you nothing. Eventually, we'll change that. Maybe we got to come up with something for first winners. Lisa Poole, good morning. Bobby Leister, H.R. Mallory, Chris Conrad. See, Chris Conrad and I were lucky. Like last weekend was Victoria Day. This coming Monday is Memorial Day. We can celebrate both. And, we had to burn vacation days, but we could, in theory, celebrate 2 long weekends.
There's no getting around the fact that you are a double agent.
Well, none at all.
And being a modern day American, you're willing to milk the system for anything you can.
Yep. Seeing Chris Conrad with a K, that's when you spell Conrad with a K,
right?
That was a telltale sign that East German.
East German?
Yeah.
Conrad.
Telltale sign.
Conrad, the comrade, carried an AK-47. So you see this deal, we're jumping on. We have an agenda. You can't hold us to it. We pay for this airtime. If we want to deviate from our agenda on the front of the show, we can. You see this deal where Joe Biden, I was going to say chose or maybe choosing, but somebody has potentially chosen for Joe Biden Elizabeth Warren as a running mate.
Oh, Lord.
And what they're saying is, if you look back, Barack Obama so who was Barack Obama's vice president?
Joe Biden.
Okay. Had a party elder, right? He might be young, inexperienced. Donald Trump, who is a divorced, philandering TV star, chose a conservative Christian guy in the form of Mike Pence.
Yep.
Okay. And a not a political neophyte either, a guy that's been around a while. So you're trying to say that opposites attract. George W. Bush chose Dick Cheney because W was young and inexperienced, and Cheney had been around since Halliburton was formed. You go through this thing, and Joe Biden's creepy Joe, and Elizabeth Warren's just kind of Grandma Warren.
It just cements the fact that the Democratic Party is not just old, rich, out-of-touch white guys.
It's white women too.
It's old, rich, out-of-touch white women.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren, she plays fairly well on television, and this is not a negative. Donald Trump is in his 70s, but she's in her 70s, folks. You picture her as like 58 and hip, having a glass of wine.
Yeah.
No. She's in her 70s. I mean, I think if I'm Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden chooses Elizabeth Warren as his running mate,
old, rich, white, not quite in his 70s, but not quite as rich.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd be hot. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm the second most popular Democrat on the planet, and you're going to reach back and get her. And I get it. It's politics. You got to find somebody that Kennedy was in the Northeast. He was Catholic. He was a booze runner's family. They got LBJ, who was, Speaker of the House. I guess he was, wasn't he? I think he was.
Yeah. Boy, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if you Speaker of the House. He
It
was
wasn't
in Congress forever.
and it wasn't his first choice either.
Right.
Actually, I think
Marilyn Monroe.
I think it might have been his first choice because he felt politically that was the way to go, but others didn't think LBJ, especially Robert. I don't think Robert liked LBJ and
not at all. And
didn't want him as his running mate.
Disdain was mutual.
Yeah,
I've read several books about it.
Because didn't he beat him in the run? Didn't he beat him in the nomination for the Democrat?
Yes,
the primary and such, right? And there was a lot of disdain and a lot of hatred. Obviously, going one way, because when you win, you don't hate the people you beat.
He hated them enough, though,
to kill them.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Took him out to a ranch and let him shoot a rifle. And if you've ever shot any type of a high-powered rifle, you have to keep your eye a certain distance from that scope ring, or when it kicks, it'll cut you. And LBJ let him get cut and laughed. Robert laid on the ground with blood on his face, and LBJ laughed at him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
It's kind of funny in a way.
Let's get into the news, though.
If you're gonna act like you've been there before and you haven't, then you might get that. There's B.J. Nelson checking in, Martin Mikush. He was former Czechoslovakian.
What is our Eastern Bloc listenership?
It's high.
I just picture that they're all 6'4", 210, 30-inch waist, and they have blue eyes and square jaws.
Look like
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What was the guy that Drago?
Yeah.
Ivan Drago.
That guy was scary. I wonder what he looks like now. Yeah, that was 25 years ago.
I think Dolph went to Washington State.
Did he?
Yep, graduate chemistry degree.
Was he there?
Chemistry major.
Doing Soviet studies as you were?
He's actually from the Scandinavian countries, but anyway.
I saw Dr. Missy Madden Klimacek yesterday.
Yep. She's in today. Patrick Strauss, Stephen Kidder, Scott Snow. Let's see. We gained 2 YouTube subscribers. Thank you, Bobby Leister, for keeping that barometer for us. Don Posey, Larry Leahy.
Where's T-Lat? There's Sheriff Louderback. Hello, sir.
Christina Wise, Byron Burris.
So is it fear or respect that keeps me from picking on AJ Louderback? Because I always say, good morning, sir. Glad to have you in. Thank you. And I do the same with Judge Posey.
Both.
Is it the unspoken brotherhood of elected official mafia? You just have to kind of watch it because you could catch an ice pick behind your ear. I don't know why he's dead, but there's this really small hole right behind his right ear.
And another one corresponding side, because he would throw that from a far enough distance that you wouldn't know where it's coming from.
Right.
No fingerprints on it.
Now, I don't think that Judge Posey would stoop to actually eliminate anybody anymore. I think he's past that.
Yeah.
Enjoying retirement.
Well, you only do that when you're judge, right?
Right. You can only do that active duty.
Yeah. Right. Hopping, Paul Ebner checking in. Matt Boucher, good morning. Michael Jolly, my beautiful wife Cheryl's checking in. James Kurth.
Are you a history guy?
Chris Conrad says Stasi in the house.
Are you a history buff at all?
Yeah, somewhat, depending on what the history is. What history?
I'm listening to a book online about
an ebook.
It's on Audible.
Okay.
It's by a guy named S.C. Gwynn, and it's I don't get me bogged down in the title right now, but the
what do you even know what it's about?
I don't know what it's about, and I don't know who wrote it, but I know that I like it.
Well, you know who wrote it. You don't know the title, and you don't know what it's about.
It's called Empire of the. Can you read that? Empire
of the Summer Moon.
Empire of the Summer Moon, and it's chronicling the Comanche Indians, primarily in the Texas Panhandle.
Yep.
And you want to talk about, because I've gotten this Native American interest of late. And for real. So you had the Kiowas and the Karankawas, all these different Indians that were basically agrarian, that were basically
except for the Karankawas, they would eat you.
Well, and the Comanches were like, for years, they talk about going back to the 1600s, and then there was like a morph in about an 80-year period, and the Comanches became the most ruthless tribe on the planet. I'm talking about the graphic nature of some of the descriptions of some of the survivors of their raids, when they were the ones that did the scalping of people.
They were the ones that would raid white settlements and kidnap the women and the
Yes.
children and either hold them as their own slaves or sell them as slaves.
There's a lady's last name was Parker, and she was taken at the age of 9, and at 21 she bore a child to one of the chiefs of the Comanches, and the kid went on to be Quanah. We've heard that name before. Quanah Parker was a great warrior for the Comanches, and he was a halfie. And it's very interesting. I'm just telling you, if you're looking for a good listen,
That'd be a Métis in Canada.
a Métis.
Yeah, half Native, half French Canadian descent.
There you go. That's back then that's like Cher. She's singing about half breeds. That's where that came from. They were it was the idea that you were bred to a savage. It'd be like putting a horse with a zebra. It's just not the way it's done.
It wasn't back then.
Different era. Definitely a different era. Anyway, we need to get into the fact. It's not breaking news anymore, but it's important news that during our show yesterday, or just prior to our show yesterday, there was an idiotic, ill-planned, and thwarted terrorist attack at Naval Air Station Corpus Christi. A guy apparently pulls up to the gate. You have to go through a gate. People have their sticker on their car. They have their clearance. I have a cousin that works at the facility. He later told me that we knew more about it on the outside than he knew on the inside. They were just simply told, you're on lockdown. And but the person, I don't know a name, don't know if it was a male or female.
Male.
It was a male.
Saw the name.
Okay. Pulls up. We don't ever glorify that here. Pulls up, and they ends up being an exchange, and fire was exchanged, and the military statement was the threat was
removed.
The threat was removed. That's what they say.
Although they are apparently, or were looking for a second suspect. FBI did a raid on a house in Corpus yesterday, and either he ended up not being there or had gotten away.
Yeah.
During, but yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
But here's the thing: these things always end up being there's always a second suspect
that never
gets caught.
Never.
And then they backtrack and say, well, there was only one. It was a lone wolf. I mean, there's too many of these that just, in my mind, every time there's always a second suspect. There's this, the Las Vegas deal, second gunman.
By the way,
we heard rumors of a second gunman in Sutherland Springs. All these sorts of things, there's always a second.
They never find
them. They never find them.
Where is that? Where is that lengthy report we were expecting on the Vegas shooting? Remember?
Well, it's on the back burner because COVID-19.
Yeah. Where is the story about the protest in Hong Kong? Remember when that was going into the streets? I mean, I guess they all stayed home to be COVID free.
Who knows? Probably Chinese government probably killed them all.
Very, very likely. Freed up some cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
Byron Burris checks in. Double B, I hope if you're on the road, if you're on the bus, that you're listening and driving.
Adam Dodgery, good morning.
Kenneth Sexton's in.
Jeremy Levitt, good morning. Michael Jolly.
Iceman.
Warren Bingham checking in from Seattle. We're huge in Seattle, man.
He liked it when we mentioned Ice Pick.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We're there for you guys.
Jeremy says it's Vacation Friday. Enjoy, man. Don't know where you're going to go.
My buddy Brian Sherrill, big UT fan, checking in from Missouri.
They are getting absolutely just hammered.
Waterlogged. But this is a guy that could go out into a drainage ditch and bring home a limited striper. I mean, he ain't messing around. You remember the little leather looking frog jig? He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's got a whole you want a jig? He's got that whole deal. That's the status symbol among fishermen, is how many rods you have and how much gear you've got. You've got to have the lightweight waterproof windsuit, and you've got to have the warm weather or the cold weather waterproof windsuit. You've got to have all that gear. That's part of being a fisherman.
So maybe he can answer the question, why does the fishing rod sink so much faster than the tackle box?
I don't know. Some of those,
there's more money in the tackle box.
Right? I'm telling you.
Than a rod, maybe.
I'm telling you. Great guy, though, and a big Longhorn fan.
I'm guessing it's the real.
He's also a pepper aficionado.
Oh, really?
Like, we had a deal
cracked pepper, not...
No, like, I'll mail you some ghost peppers.
Oh, that kind of pepper. I
That,
was
like,
thinking either,
make your own
you know,
salsa.
black cracked pepper or pepper, the world's greatest celebrity.
Oh,
and Victoria
who is
Pepper.
also cracked black pepper. Just saying. I mean, he's cracked black pepper too. Wow. So anyway, that's pretty funny. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. That's the only number you need when your car won't go. You need to get your car over to the dealership, call Allen's, 578-6300. Got a big rig in the ditch. The number's still the same.
They'll pull you out.
578-6300. BCS Companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer, all reside on Kerr Boulevard, just inside the loop off Main Street. The Hartman family is the standard, the gold standard of quality and integrity in our community. Reach out to them for surveillance, surround sound, home theater,
Anything communication,
cell phones,
if it needs a frequency,
all your accessories.
they can do it.
If Dan Rather needs the frequency, he reaches out to the BCS companies. SCT Building Systems, Clayton and Casey Help, 564-64.
88-64.
Reach out to them for your next building project. He shed,
She shed,
anything.
man
You need
cave,
Oh, a new home, a
Mansplaining.
barn, storage shed, whatever you need, they can do it. And then Chesney Furniture Company, 100 years, Victoria, Texas. They were in downtown before it was downtown. It was just Victoria
that's
then.
all it was.
Been in their current location for
70 of those
years.
100 years.
Beautiful historic building. Go down to Chesney Furniture. Chesney and Love make your house a home, and you'll just do better at Chesney. Go see Bobby Leon and tell him Wade and Carter sent you.
Warren Bingham says, history's all fabricated and twisted. Napoleon said, history is written by the winners.
Yes, that's true. There's no doubt about it. But I also
So
have a
years
problem.
later, when people care and actually start going back and looking at what actually happened, right?
Yeah, but the problem I have is the people that later on care and go back, Warren, those are the folks that want to write a book that somebody wants to read. So you need that revelation. You can't write a book about John F. Kennedy today and focus on his policies that are all public record. You have to focus on the salacious nature of his sexual prowess. Otherwise, it's not interesting. You write a book about Abraham Lincoln today, you can't write about what a great leader he was, about the Gettysburg Address. You have to write about the fact that half the country hated him and that a lot of folks wanted him dead. So as time goes on,
One more so than the rest.
right, the winner's version, somewhere in between, is you need to read both for a balance, but everything is slanted to the loser's view because we are a very accommodating and empathetic bunch of folks here in the country.
Except in public schools.
I mean, it's just a matter of time. Somebody will say, you know, that Sharon Tate, she wasn't so nice. I mean, the fact that Charlie Manson killed her might have been doing the world a favor. That'll be the next story. Charlie was just a trouble boy.
She wasn't that great an actress.
She wasn't that great an actress. No great loss. Charlie was a genius. That'll be someday.
That'll be coming someday, I'm sure. If it hasn't already been written and sitting collecting dust somewhere.
Helter Skelter.
There's my lovely daughter Tyler checking in.
Tyler.
Adam Nutter says he was stationed there during 9/11 and never had a lockdown. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin's a civilian contractor. He had a Navy career, and then when he got out, he's a helicopter. He's a jet engine genius. Okay, so he subs back out to, like, pick one, Textron, somebody like that, working on helicopter engines.
Yep.
They just got and that's it. They shut down the whole base.
Wow.
Yep.
Israel Montez checking in.
I haven't seen Uncle Norm lately.
No, I haven't either.
Hope he's not stuck on a golf course somewhere.
As James Kerr says, trivia question. Who is the Texas military base near Killeen, Texas, named after? Is that Fort Hood?
It's Fort Hood, but I don't know who it was named after.
General Hood.
Yeah.
It's a good guess, right?
Old Buck Hood. I don't know what you called him. We called him Buck. He says he has enough fishing gear to fill a bedroom.
Yeah.
See, when you're Brian Sherrill and you fish as much as he does, he didn't pay for all that gear.
Warren Bingham says it's not the rod, it's the fisherman.
Right? Right. Don't, if you're not catching fish, don't blame it on the rod.
Yeah. That could be taken so many ways, Warren.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Travis
Travis.
Gundelach,
Yeah.
another Eastern Bloc
Yeah.
immigrant.
Chris Jansen, good morning.
How do we attract this?
Warren Bingham says, so what are they going to say about Trump in 100 years or 50 years? What are they going to say about Elon Musk in 100 years?
Yeah, Elon. See, I thought for a while we weren't huge fans of Elon.
I don't know
All of
that
a
I
sudden
still
he's
am,
kind of
but
come around a little bit.
Just because he took the red pill, I'm still not convinced.
Yeah.
He's got an agenda that's to line his own pockets, I think. I'm not convinced he's got anything other than that.
You're such a cynic. See, I do this show every day, folks. Every day I try to bring just some upbeat. I don't know. Can you just adopt a pet? Anyway, Mr. Apocalypse stands here to my right. There's always something wrong. Oh, bother. It's like doing a show with Eeyore. And I'm probably more like Piglet. I mean, I'm not quite as cool as Pooh. I'm the one that asks all the dumb questions like Piglet. Pooh, are we going to the market today? And you're like, why bother? It's just going to rain.
Yeah, if you still crunched ice on the air, I'd say you're more.
I don't do that anymore.
No, I know.
I'm matured.
If you still do that, you would be that annoying gopher with the whistle.
Take a minute and talk about how I've matured on the air. Go ahead. Take all the time you need.
All right, hurricane season is among us. Upon us.
There's some fungus among us, but hurricane season.
Yeah.
I asked Ash, what's the number? 13? What was the number?
13 to 19. You're on the low end of that.
Folks, they have no idea.
Mr. Happy.
Yeah, they have no idea how many storms there's going to be. They don't even have, their models don't have anything but historical data. And
that's why they use 1 billion of them and then conglomerate them into one model that
absolutely
tries, that gives you a cone of error.
But let me tell you,
not quite the cone of shame.
Standing with Mr. Apocalypse, if they have those hurricane models according to the Paris model, this model, and like there's 14 different, you've seen them. There's like all these little lines. If there's like 13 of them, and 12 are going to Houston and points east, and one goes towards Victoria, Ash is going out and buying all the toilet paper, man. He's buying all the paper.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance. Right now is probably a good time. I like to keep, and it will keep for years. Go the next time you're at HEB.
MREs?
And no, I like to go ahead and grab the gallon jugs of drinking water. You can store them in the garage. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, you don't want them in the garage. And then they get heat up, and all those chemicals leach out of the plastic in your water.
Oh, you buy that. This brought to you by Formosa. No, but for real, you can, keep it in your house, but you can keep that water for extended periods of time. But I'm just telling you, it is storm season. It's the only season not disrupted by coronavirus. And it will be here whether you want it to be or not. Speaking of seasons, University of Texas yesterday had a rebuttal, actually 2 days ago.
To the city of Austin.
The city of Austin said no mass gatherings, and their city council, in a bold swipe of power, blurted out that mass gatherings, remember they really messed up the South by Southwest deal.
Yeah.
Mass gatherings were the first thing we canceled, and mass gatherings are the last thing we're going to bring back. That means no UT football. University of Texas said, we're a state agency. We're not subject to you, and we're teeing it up in the fall.
Yeah.
Have a nice summer.
Interesting.
I like that. Well, UT, hey, I had an Aggie friend say, can you imagine College Station trying to tell A&M what to do? Little different situation. I mean, Austin is the state capital. Austin
probably would still be a city without the University of Texas at
right.
Austin in there.
But
there would be no College Station without it.
But it's the same thing when you're talking about a
because it would just be called station,
right?
If there was no A&M,
like illiterate station. When you've got a couple of $100 million athletic department budget, couple of $100 million, You don't just decide that you're going to shut it down
No, I'm
based
sure
on
it's
some city councilman chirping.
Yeah. Two J Dubs checking in back to back. That's like the full house.
Dawn Nicole says, I still chew ice at home. That's just
He can
not
chew it at
so.
home.
It's not so.
There's J Dub and then Jonathan Williams back to back.
Jonathan Williams. Now, see, that sounds like an actor.
No, I was a composer.
That's right.
John Williams.
German. Wilhelm.
I'm going back to the old, when SNL was still good and relevant and funny,
Oh,
a Gumby skit. I think John Williams was the greatest composer.
remember that? Eddie Murphy? I'm Gumby, damn it.
Billy Crystal and
Gumby.
Rich Hall, I think, was in on those skits. They were awesome. Oh, man.
I'd love to talk baseball with Billy Crystal. Huge Yankees fan.
Yeah, see, Jeremy Levis coming back. It's what us Cougs do. No, Mr. Doom and Gloom. I'm a realist.
So, see, Jeremy Levitt, well, and this goes back when you're a Washington State Cougar and you've just been slapped around by Washington all those years, you are a realist. You look at the negativity because you know it's coming.
No, we always live for the hope that we will beat them one day.
Right, you will. You'll have your time in the sun. You will. It's a good program.
We'd only have to win like 40 straight Apple Cups to get to 500.
Right. I saw a deal that said the other day that they were talking about the greatness of Tony Gwynn and how Pete Rose.
Thanks, Warren. There's a true kook for you. I can have some of his toilet paper. It might be a little used.
That's right. Wow. And he lives in the Pacific Northwest. Just roll it up and smoke it, dude.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, they were talking about the greatness of Tony Gwynn at the plate. These stats have started to captivate me. They said that if Pete Rose came back today, the all-time hits leader in baseball, and went 750 for 750 at the plate, he'd still have a lower lifetime batting average than Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, they consider Pete Rose the greatest,
Yeah, he is.
one of the greatest hitters of all
Punch
time.
and Judy.
Yeah.
Great player, though. Tenacious player.
Warren Bingham says, cancel football in Texas. Is that like killing your own child?
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty
it's
close.
It's just
Yeah,
not going to happen.
no.
It's essential business in Texas.
There's Johnny Houghton checking in. Tammy Darlene, good morning. Let's see who else is in.
Johnny Houghton sounds like the name of an old Western actor. You know? I can't think of some of those guys. But I mean, you can see him like in a John Wayne movie. Tex Ritter, Johnny Houghton. It's kind of got that.
Johnny Houghton's seen and done things that you and I couldn't even imagine.
He and I are friends on Facebook now. I'm gonna start stalking his page, and I'll learn things about Johnny Houghton.
He's now a rancher in Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Western Manitoba.
Now, where is Manitoba? I'm just being dumb.
East of Saskatchewan.
What time is it there?
I think they're on Central Time.
Okay.
Basically straight above North Dakota. So if you went straight up, you're pretty much,
Doesn't get
you're
cold
pretty much
there,
in
does it?
Manitoba. That's still cold there. It
What,
doesn't get cold there yet because they're still cold.
Jake, give us the weather report in sunny Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
So to finish up the NOAA's Atlantic hurricane season outlook, 13 to 19 named storms, 6 to 10 of those will become hurricanes, 3 to 6 of those
Bad.
will become major hurricanes. They're saying that about a 60% chance of it being an above normal hurricane season.
But none will make landfall. So we have that going for us.
They don't go that. They don't make that bold a prediction.
Does anybody?
But here's
think
the
they really
skip-
have
well,
a clue. They're
but-
looking at the jet stream and the El Nino and
Yeah,
all
but
that.
there's a pattern.
Right.
About every third, and it's more. It happens more often than it didn't happen. When a major hurricane makes landfall, another one follows 3 years after, and we're 3 years out from Harvey.
But it
on the
doesn't go
Texas
to the
coast.
same
Doesn't go to the
place.
same place, but Texas typically, and I believe they've showed this. Texas gets hit. That third year pattern happens more often than it doesn't happen. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm with you.
So Texas coast, be ready. This could be the year.
There you have it. And I agree with you. And you should be ready, folks. It does make sense to get some non-perishables and things like that.
And we have shared the hurricane preparedness guide on our Wade and Carter page. That was produced by the National Weather Service out of Corpus Christi, so you can go and check that out. And lots of great information in that.
T-Lat's really hung up on this ice chewing. She's still commenting about me chewing ice.
We've gone past that.
She did tell me once with a straight face, I'm going to leave you if you don't quit. I go, where are you going to go? Like to the living room? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Johnny Hahn says they're in a heat wave, 28 degrees Celsius. That's pushing like 85, 90-ish for
Wow.
May in eastern or western Manitoba, eastern Saskatchewan. That's pretty warm this time of year.
So I've got this Yeti cup, and I'll get up in the middle of the night, go get a drink of water. And sometimes I do put a piece of ice in my mouth and kind of chew it up on the way back to bed.
So
It's not good.
And that's why that wakes her up. You can go get the water, come back to bed, nothing, and then you're sitting there in bed going crunch, 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 right?
They say it could be indicative of an iron deficiency. And yet I don't understand. I mean, I really don't understand why. I wish Christina Wise was here to tell us why an iron deficiency would make people chew ice. Now, it could be a deal where they just say, hey, people that chew ice, we check them and they all seem low on iron. But I mean, I don't know what that would – I mean, why would that be?
I don't know. That's interesting.
It's a true story, though.
Go get a few more fillings.
Yeah, don't have any.
Molten iron. Well, there's your problem. You need a couple molten iron fillings.
Steve Kidder says, dude, they never forget. Stephen, you're right. And Dawn, he says she's remembering your comments from yesterday. There was a little.
I don't remember the comments from yesterday.
There was some flatulence talk. There was a little flatulence talk.
But lately, every time that comes up, because yesterday my grandson was over last night. He's a little under the weather, so we're watching him today, and he let one rip yesterday, and everybody got blamed but him.
Right. And at your house, so it's easy just to go, it wasn't me, that was the dog.
It was a dog.
It was the dog.
Chances are there's going to be a dog in the room, maybe more than one.
There's Rena Shear. Good morning.
But it reminds me of that meme. If a fart can travel through 8 layers of clothes, including denim, you think your mask is doing anything against COVID?
Yeah,
exactly.
And actually, with the toot, you just hope that there's no particulate matter. You don't want any substance.
Bobby Leister's wife might sum up your ice chewing like his wife says to him. It sounds like a cow eating corn.
I'm going to work on that. I am. I've been working on that, and I will continue to do so.
Oh, look, Tammy Darlene's a dental professional. Chewing ice puts cracks in your teeth. Damn. You may not have a filling yet, is the key word.
57.
Speaking of filling, Veracruz. Oh, you want to leave there absolutely stuffed?
That was one of your best ever.
Thank you. Wasn't it good?
Veracruz on a Friday. If you don't get it today, you're not getting it until Monday.
Monday, folks.
Reach out today.
Yeah. Warren Bingham says he's going to come down. He wants to go in through a hurricane, but we'll all take him to Veracruz when he comes down.
I tell you what, Warren, I'm not exaggerating. We ought to find a way. We'll make it our goal to buy, freeze, dry ice pack, and FedEx Warren Bingham a Veracruz enchilada casserole. Can we do that? Can we commit to do that?
Probably could.
We need to get some digits, some locale data from Warren Bingham. And I think that's a great public service thing. He will eat that. He'll gain about 18 pounds eating that whole casserole. No way he shares it with anybody.
Oh, we missed J-Dub's weather update. We got Johnny Houghton's weather update.
J-Dub, you could call. It's a Friday. You don't have to be so shy. You haven't called in weeks.
I'm looking. 5 degrees and pouring rain. So
that's awesome.
40 degrees and rainy.
Today's reason not to live in sunny Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I mean, every day there's a reason that Ash is like, I live in Texas.
Oh, he sent me a text too. I didn't get that. Yeah, there it is.
5 degrees. What is it? What is the? It's going to be sunny on Sunday.
Sunday and 68.
It's craziness, folks.
Yeah,
just crazy.
And I think that might be the high. The high today is going all the way up to 8 degrees Celsius.
James Curtis
Whew.
says we ought to send Warren a frozen margarita. That's pretty fun. We could send him some mix.
Veracruz today, folks, because it ain't open till Monday if you don't get it today.
Do it.
576-6015.
Just place your order to be picked up. I'll tell you something else that's excellent. I'll order enough beef and chicken fajitas, and then when I'm done eating the meal, put them in a Ziploc, and you can fire them back up in that microwave.
Yeah.
They're not as good as the first time you eat them, but they're still really good.
But you know what you do? So you don't dry them out, you got to reduce that power.
Yeah, I do.
About a minute longer, and you reduce the power about 2 to 3.
Or you can just scorch them on high for 2 minutes, and it's like eating jerky.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I've learned that trick to extend
the cooking time, reduce the power.
The other
dry
night
out the meat.
I had
Still
gone
dries
to
out bread.
the store and bought some rotisserie chickens, and I had ended up being an extra one. We ate all we wanted at lunch, and there was an extra whole chicken in that little plastic tub.
Yep.
I put that in the microwave. I put it on like 8 minutes on power 7, and it just heated it all the way through. It was great.
Finally got the stuff near the bones cooked properly, so it's not
Right.
red.
It just came right off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate medium rare chicken. Remember both?
There, Christina Wise answers. She says ice causes the iron deficiency causes you to crave things with no nutritional value.
Crave things with no nutritional value. Like Michelob Ultra. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm iron deficient. Although beer is more like liquid.
So if you upped your iron intake,
I could probably quit being drunk.
And you might drop it.
Wait a minute, that's your side of the deal.
You might
You're
drop
the drunk.
Yeah.
I got my lines mixed up.
You might drop a few pounds.
What are you going to drink this weekend?
Water.
As a secondary element in your cocktail. Ash is the kind of guy he uses distilled water to make his ice.
I use distillery water.
Yeah.
Let's get it right.
He's a pro, folks. Yeah. This man's a pro. I'm not saying it's a problem, but we're watching it.
There was a good meme I saw yesterday. I keep trying to make hand sanitizer, and all I get is bourbon.
Right? I've got an intervention checklist of folks to call if we really decide we have to do it. Razor IT Solutions, reach out to JP Hull and his team. Let them help you with your analytics. You need to know who's hitting your website, why they're hitting your website. Are they trying to hack into your website? You need to use JP to help you figure out how to collect money on your website for services that you provide. He can also help you interface with your accounting software. You'll be like, wait a minute, you can do that? Yes, not only can you collect the money, it goes straight into the QuickBooks. He can help you with the presence you have on Facebook. Basically, there's a lot of things JP does that we don't understand, but he's really good at it. If you've got any questions about your internet presence or how to capitalize on advertising on the internet, that type of stuff, reach out to Razor IT Solutions. The Atzenoffer dealership, Victoria's dealer since 1926.
Atzenoffer.com. I was perusing the pre-owns yesterday. Got a great selection. There's some nice pickup trucks there, SUVs.
Your Lexus is
still there.
They're selling cars like candy bars. Tommy Taylor told me that. Reach out to them. They won't. They're not in the car collection. It is not the Atzenoffer car collection.
No,
they
it's not
want to sell these
vehicles. Not the car museum.
And more than ever, right now is a great time to go in and go, hey, would you take? Give them a would you take?
I bet you they take it.
Would you take this for that pre-owned vehicle? Because I'd like to own it.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ways I can go. They'll either laugh at the absurdity of your offer, or they'll take it. Yep, exactly.
They're also in the process right now of making your life better by giving you a $20 gift card
to Veracruz
for every vehicle you buy when you mention Wade and Carter.
White Trash Services, 550-1826. Call, ask for the boss. You might be on your way to Lake McQueeney, so you might not get the boss, but somebody there, a live person, will be able to answer your questions and take care of your trash collection needs in Victoria and the surrounding 5 counties.
Ask for the roll-off queen. If you're trying to do a new project, you need a roll-off dumpster, taking a roof off, something like that, reach out to the roll-off queen.
They've got a new customer, or maybe not a new customer, but I know they recently placed a dumpster, larger than your weekly rollout container,
right,
at somebody's house that lives out near me. They've decided to forgo the 2 bins that they had, because I remember I used to always see them, and now they have a dumpster there. So the truck would come in, pick it up.
Now you just
Throw it on
drive by,
top.
throw
Yeah.
your stuff in
That's
there.
all. That's exactly it.
Perfect.
Perfect. We're done. Good.
There you go.
So that's what they can provide. They can provide that, whether residential or commercial in the county. They can provide all your trash collection needs. And I'm going to go ahead and extend it a little bit, but have a Trash-tastic weekend.
Absolutely.
Folks.
And don't forget, look, you see the hat, you see Ash's hat, you see my 6-panel cotton golf cap, this T-shirt that I'm wearing, all brought to us by Compadres Design Inc. Super good folks, the Soule family. It's another local, small, family-owned business working through this crisis, blowing and going.
Yeah.
You need to wrap a vehicle. You need swag. You need a cooler. with
Wrap
the
your
logo on it.
boat,
Wrap a boat.
motorcycle.
They're good.
They're good.
Yep.
There's Diane Tippett checking in. Brent Anderson, fresh out of the pool. Speaking of pools, I saw a headline. The city of Plano. Here's the COVID craziness.
Lunacy is the word I was looking
Yeah.
for.
I was trying to keep the alliteration going, but it's hard. Craziness is, I think, it doesn't do it. Craziness doesn't quite cut it. The city of Plano is going to close outdoor pools for the summer, but indoor pools can stay open in a limited capacity. Doesn't that just make absolutely 100% perfect sense to anybody?
And wouldn't you think, folks, that the indoor pool, with all of its inherent humidity and all of that, would be more likely to transmit some type of virus or bacteria than an outdoor pool where the breeze is blowing?
Yeah. Think of the humidity in an indoor pool.
Smells like chlorine. It gives me
And
I
you-
used to walk into the YMCA and just go, ugh.
And you're speaking moistly in that pool to begin with.
Speaking moistly. Still got that song somewhere?
I'd have to find
It's
it.
pretty good.
Yep, Warren, I'm convinced. Chaos is the agenda.
It is the agenda. And it is just illogical. In New York, they were saying you can walk on the beach, but you cannot go in the water. And Cuomo said, don't make me put a fence on the beach.
Yeah. This is also the same guy that said, hey, take all those old COVID people and stick them back in the nursing homes. Nobody has called him out on that.
And by the way, Cuomo is no longer being mentioned as a presidential guy. They kind of figured him out.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, probably the CNN cabal want to quash that because they've lost all credibility amongst as a mainstream media anyway.
Correct.
Then you would have if he somehow won the White House, there'd be no credibility among CNN.
Absolutely.
He would never question his brother on anything.
No, and I don't feel like CNN really is real anymore anyway.
No.
I don't.
So-
MSNBC, they're all just kind of like, what we've done, and some of this is on Trump, okay? So don't think that I'm giving President Trump a pass. When you are as petty and flippant as Donald Trump has been, even if he's right, you can't be surprised at the erosion of respect for the office of the president. He has open bickering sessions with media people, and I can't believe that they had the chutzpah to argue with him personally. I'm not saying pressing a question. They will say, well, don't you think, Mr. President? And they're kind of flippant. They want their moment in the sun where I took it to him. And the office of the presidency has become kind of dumbed down, I think, in the view of the world.
Well, yeah.
What do you think? You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, and you look at things, I think when the president's approval rating was going 50, 52, 54%, depending on the poll, 48, somewhere in that range.
Right.
Just happened to coincide with him getting rid of his daily press briefings and the lunacy of the White House questioning and all that crap, right?
Yep.
Now his approval rating is taking a hit during this. And it's because the media is chopping up his sound bites to make all these reporters who ask very, very targeted, one-sided questions, set up questions to try to make the president look bad. And when he calls them on it, and basically he attacks them, but in my opinion, he should just go, you know what? Dumb question, next. Instead of engaging these folks so that these media outlets can chop them up and push their agenda that the president hates the media, then his approval ratings go up or go down in the polls corresponding. That's why they get so mad. That's why they were so mad when he stopped having the press briefings, because the people they poll, and I'm not convinced these polls are legit either.
I'm not either.
But all of a sudden, they weren't getting the results from the polls because his approval rating was going up.
Is that J-Dub?
That's J-Dub. He's got very curly hair, and he's got what I term the Frovid going on.
Wow, that's tragic. Steve Kidder says Ash is on a roll. He used CNN and credibility in the same sentence. Made him laugh.
Yeah, what did Johnny Hahn said something? He said the chaos. He said something here about the chaos. Got to find. He says the chaos has confirmed the fact you can't fix stupid, and what the chaos for me has confirmed is that it's helping to control the stupid. Those that don't question, those that need somebody to run their lives,
right?
That can't have individual thoughts and can't think past things. That's who the chaos is controlling.
That's right.
Further dividing us. And Warren Bingham, we've talked about this. That this country, and you especially, I think the other day pointed out that you think this country is on a path to a revolution.
I do.
And Warren just said the same thing.
Not excited about it, and I'm not sure it'll be necessarily a bloody revolution, because it really, I mean,
and we may not live to see it.
I believe
things may continue to devolve.
The left will roll over. I do. I believe that. They're too lazy to work. They're way too lazy to fight.
Jeremy Levitt says, I agree. It's time for political uprising.
But that uprising can happen. Just go vote.
Well, yeah.
People just need to vote.
You might see that, actually. Washington State, aptly named, might be the birth of the next revolution, the way their governor is just absolutely running roughshod over everybody's civil liberties and
they're in
freedoms.
Michigan. Do you see where what's her name, Whitmer?
Yeah.
She said, you folks need to stay home. You don't need to be anywhere near your summer houses or any of that type of stuff. That just can't happen. And then her car was spotted at her summer house.
Yeah, go figure.
That's exactly the way the government works. It's Animal Farm. You know, we're all equal, just some are more equal than others.
Well, I mean, summer tourism drives Michigan's economy, not just from within Michigan, but people from other states.
Sure.
You know, you got the land of 10,000 lakes, folks.
During that period of 6 weeks where it's not gray and cold.
Yeah.
Unfrozen.
In the UP.
Michigan tundra. Torn Bales checks in. Good morning, sir. See, he's another one that I sir. Him, Sheriff Louderback, Judge Posey, TLAP. I sir all of them.
Warren Bingham says he'll gladly be the one to be the leader of the uprising in Washington State. Might not want to state that too loudly.
Yeah, they'll send the
Inslee will come along and claim you have the COVID and forcibly remove you from your home.
There's Gil Garcia.
Lock you away forever. So there was apparently a poll yesterday showed Joe Biden with an 11-point lead over Donald Trump.
That's a joke.
For president.
That's a joke. Yeah, well, that's not real.
I can't believe
it. The voting is going to just show Trump is going to win in such a huge landslide. It's just going to be incredible. I'm not even saying it's a great thing. It's just incredible. Gil Garcia checked in from Hartman Distributing Company.
Well, let's take our final break and then we'll get into this because I want to talk a little bit about mail voting. Not MALE, but MAIL and voting by mail.
There you go. Uncle Mutt's Barbecue. They're open all weekend, but today's a great day to go by and load up on beef. You can get sliced brisket, ribs, chicken, sausage, all the side dishes. They're all packed in containers that will allow you to have leftovers. And for me, barbecue sometimes is even better leftover. I love a little mayonnaise or a little sauce on a piece of white bread with a fold over, a bender, as Scott Taylor calls it. Put you a little piece of brisket in there and fold it over.
Forget the mayonnaise. Just put some more leftover sauce on there.
Some more sauce.
That's all you need.
Yay. Sorry.
Heat it up a little bit.
You know what you're talking about?
I do.
You do? Uncle Mutt's great. Just simply the best barbecue
Sorry.
in town. It ain't even close.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
You don't have to apologize. Please stop. Great Barn Design. Reach out to Cheryl. That's Ash's better half. Much better.
Much better half.
Her half is much better. 920.
More like my 3/4 to her
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah. 920-6803. If you have a party, Kinsey, wedding, reunion, anything, she's going to do my funeral. That was my compliment to her, that she would certainly outlive me.
The first job she ever signed up for was your funeral.
Yeah, 920-6803. Give her a call. And don't forget this time of year, and this is the serious side of it, folks. Hurricane season is upon us. Now is a great time to hook up with the folks at Wind Services and get a generator by Generac. It's seamless. Your power goes out, your generator kicks on. The thing is set up to automatically test itself every month.
Yep.
It is truly maintenance free. You can just hook it up on natural gas.
Peace of
and you're
mind.
good to go.
Propane,
Absolutely.
if that's what you got. It's got solar power backup. I mean, this can do
Yep.
all sorts of
There
stuff.
are
It's phenomenal.
solar panels now that have batteries that store juice, and you can truly be grid free. Reach out to Went today. There you go. That's the show.
Yeah, Steve Kidder's right. But the only funeral Cheryl won't be able to plan for would be Keith Richards.
Yeah, or Joe Walsh. But is it true that back in the day that they used to do complete blood transfusions for Keith Richards because he was a heroin addict?
I have no idea. No idea.
I tell you what, the man ain't got no body fat.
No.
He must eat bananas and heroin. That's what he,
I saw a new name check in that I hadn't seen before, so I want to make sure we say hi, Jennifer Caslow. Good morning to you.
It's more Eastern Bloc folks.
Just like Hillary was going to win. I guess that's for her reference to the Joe Biden.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hillary's
poll. Yeah, so a lot of flap about mail-in voting and the potential for fraud, and Colorado does it, and you could argue that may be why politically Colorado's as messed up as it is, but I don't know. It still seems like a decent state in some regards. Here's the problem I have with it. One person can take 10 of the ballots to the ballot box. The fines and the punishment is greater for mail fraud because you can, or for voting fraud by mail, because then you have federal mail laws that could be violated to stack on top of this stuff.
Who's going to check that out?
Well, but that's the problem. You can have people go in and help you fill out a ballot, right?
She's my neighbor. He meant Ash.
Yeah.
He said, she's my neighbor, ass.
Yeah.
He says, I meant Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's that Freudian slip,
Yeah. We're closing in out of time, but we always forget if anybody has a call on any of these topics, they can give us a call, 361-575-9509. Facebook is obviously a place you can put your thoughts and ideas out there, and we will certainly share them. And you can always listen at magic95victoria.com as well. But
look at that. She says Philadelphia just convicted their judge for ballot stuffing.
Yeah, and there's a lady in Michigan who was a city clerk, I believe, of a town. And apparently 200 ballots that they found. She was charged with voter fraud back in November. I checked up on this the other day. It's still going through the courts. I think the last thing I saw, she had a court date in March. Nothing really got accomplished. And I think since then, she's probably been waiting on the courts to actually reopen for it to get, if convicted, I think she faces a few years in jail and a pretty hefty fine. And here's the other interesting thing. She was also a city clerk of the year, according to some city clerk associations. So there you go. But the problem I have with mail-in voting is I think the last election voter turnout in Colorado was about 75. Here's what I don't understand. 75% of registered voters cast their ballots by mail. 85% of active voters voted by mail. How do you be an active voter? How can your registered voters be at 75%? How can you have more active voters? I could not
So let's
calculate in my
You
head.
got 1 million people, 750,000 of them are registered voters. And then they're saying 85% of the active voters, of those 750,000, maybe only 600,000 vote. and around 500,000 of them did it by mail.
But maybe, but I thought I saw the number of active voters. The number
It's
of voters
higher
was
than-
higher than the number of registered
It's
voters.
Colorado, dude.
Well, that could very well be
I
it.
ate the nachos,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing 2.
Yeah. So
You heard
I'm not
latest
sure.
deal,
That
right? This is a true story. You know, they do the 420 where they all spark up a doobie at 420.
Yeah.
Well, now they're having like a little one hitter at 210.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just
It's
not a
like
full blown
just
420.
a quick, just
Yeah,
a 210
just to get them
hit.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Kidder, make a note,
If they get up early, they could do it twice a day.
right? 420.
And if they're on military time, they can only do it in the morning. They're never up on military time because they're never up at 420. But I just have a lot of questions about the mail fraud because in Colorado, one person can carry 10 ballots in. You can still take it to the ballot box yourself at the polling station, which if that's what you do, why can't you walk in and just vote?
Well,
But then they have collection boxes like library deposit boxes. I mean,
love it where Jennifer says, "Don't let Trump cheat. Voter ID is a must." I see what you did there. Jennifer is as sharp as Warren. That's actually very well done. My concern is this: you're moving towards. I'd rather see you be able to vote on your device, your phone. Except that what stops me from getting your phone? I know my kids' passwords and voting for you.
well, and that's the problem I have with the mail
You
ballots.
reintroduce the human error or the human factor. You say, well, when they're counting those mail-in votes, there's somebody they're supervising. But isn't it easy in a place like LA County to maybe have a little bit of a conspiracy and a closely, there are elections, none closer than Bush winning in Florida back in whatever it was, 04.
The hanging chads.
Yeah, and you're like, come on. In an electronic world, we have a cool little deal here. You use that little, I always think it was a little squeezer thing, but you vote with that little stencil, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like a little nasal,
Yeah, that's what it looks
puffer.
like. I mean, you can vote.
A
and
bulb
cure-
syringe.
Yeah, in fact, if they were smart, Flonase would advertise on that.
You're right, they would. Or the Navage, a neti pot.
Right. Come on in, clean your sinuses and vote. I like it.
Vote and clear your conscience at the same time.
I like that. Wow.
Vote your conscience and clear it.
Did you see they're having now the drive-through testing for the COVID? I'm like,
Yeah.
You just drive up, stay in your car. You can do it to yourself. Are you really going to take a stick that long and stick it up your nose to the
No.
back of your throat?
No.
I'm not doing that.
No. So, yeah.
I'll die of the COVID without ever being tested. I mean, no, don't put it
The
up
same
your nose.
folks that want everybody to have an ID for COVID to prove you can get into places don't want anybody to have to show an ID to vote.
Right.
Can somebody please reconcile that logic with
And
me
you-
at all?
You can be an illegal alien and still get stimulus money because even though you're illegally here, we're going to pay you to be here.
Well, that's how you get more votes.
That's exactly right. The Democrats,
That's why they want to extend this thing to pretty much anybody in the home.
yes,
Because if they get them young enough, they'll never have to go get
Yes.
a job.
which is what they did to black folks for 4 generations. And now more than ever in this country, you're seeing Black America wake up and say, hey, you know what? You've been promising me a lot for a long time. And I live in the same part of Detroit that my mother lived in, that her grandmother lived in, and I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Hats off to them. Anybody that really feels like they benefited from the Democratic Party needs to really take a cold, hard look at their tax bill and what's going on.
Call us.
Yeah.
361-575-9509.
I'm surprised we haven't had a birthday call today or a Friday.
Science Mag. I don't know if you saw this. This was an interesting article yesterday. Science Mag. I saw it on sciencemag.org. I'm assuming it. But they're saying that some people are more prone to spreading the coronavirus.
And how does that work? Your spittle is a little thicker than someone
Maybe.
else?
Or less thick so it doesn't drop from gravity. It carries on.
Add the word mucus to the word moist and dank and damp as words that really have no place in everyday language.
Jennifer Caslow says Seattle wants $100 million for illegals, and they just lost more than $100 million in unemployment.
Isn't that something? Think about it.
Warren Bingham asked, do you guys think a population program has been in place? Yeah, ooh, that's a good one. That makes me think hard. I don't know. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole, but I think a plan to replace the population, because Americans have been so caught up in careers, and as it wasn't it Michelle Obama who just basically regretted having 2 kids
Yeah.
because it hurt her career.
Her career. She
I
ended
mean,
up being first lady. That's all.
Nowadays, I come from a family of 3. I've got 2 kids. But family with 2 siblings, a family of 3 kids, that's kind of unheard of these days.
I'll tell you this. I did some research on this a while back, and the numbers are eerily accurate. That a population will reach the point where its reproduction will no longer sustain its numbers. And the United States is there and has been there for a while. There's not enough people having enough babies to replace all the people that are dying. Fact. Unless you throw in the population growth spurred by our immigration quantities. And the folks that are coming in, whether it be legally or illegally, are their numbers bolster us back to where our
but I don't think the
sustains
legal
itself.
immigration does that.
No, it's the illegal immigration. Here's the deal.
You want to talk about some unemployment or employment reform? I think you could probably get rid of some of the legal immigrants as well. That could take some jobs.
The reality is, in 100 years, this country will just be northern Mexico. That's the truth. That's the inevitable. It's not. There's no judgment there. Whether it's good, bad, or whatever is up to the American people. I hope that all these immigrants that come in assimilate, learn the language, embrace
what America has to offer.
But it's easy to.
But the Democrat Party doesn't want that.
No, they want you to keep waving your Honduran flag and voting for the Democrats. Rush Limbaugh said yesterday, I listened for a while, and Rush said the whole reason that we're here, Ash and I have long been somewhat anti all this lockdown. We've at least acknowledged that all of this lockdown has destroyed the economy. And Rush Limbaugh said the reality is we're here because some people panicked and paid way too much attention to an incorrect UK prediction of, there's going to be 2 million dead, Mr. President. There's going to be 2 million dead. You've got to do something. We're not at 5% of that number in this country. So It is what it is. What did you read that made you chuckle?
Chris Conrad says, easy on the talk about ousting legal immigrants, please.
Right. Yeah. We'd like to let up all of you, all of you that got here legally, and we're going to rethink. There's going to be a test. No, legal immigrants. We didn't say oust. Oh, goodness.
No, but I just.
Judge Posey, thank you, sir. He said, have a great. Judge Posey says, hey, everybody, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for another great week. Thank you, sir, for listening.
Oh, geez, we're out of time.
We are out of time.
Ralph's knocking at the door.
Ralph's out there. Where's the brother man? By the way, our own brother Gary Moses got a little front page love today in the Victoria Advocate. I'm not sure they mentioned that he's on our show regularly in the Advocate. I don't know why. Fair enough.
18 active COVID cases in Victoria County as of the numbers that I saw yesterday.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
We've had 157 cases in the county. I think we're at 18 active.
Everybody else survived.
Well, not everybody. 137 recovered.
7.
We have 7 deaths.
7 deaths.
In a county of 70. Well, in a city of 70,000 people, roughly, and a county of
100,000.
You do the math, folks. Put the data together, and
let's get back to work.
You'll start seeing that this thing. If you do the mortality rate compared to the population, this thing is a flu.
I will tell you this: that way. If the bars open up, are they opening up tonight?
Oh yeah, I saw a great meme on that. Leave the bar opening to the professionals.
Right.
Because they're opening at limited capacity, 25%. So unless you can, great meme. I think this had to be off a chalkboard outside a pub in England
Yeah.
because nobody else thinks this way but the English.
So it's only 1/4 capacity.
Yeah. So you've got to drink for be able to drink for 4 people
If
if you're going to go to the bar. If you can't drink for 4, you got no business being in that
leave
bar.
it to the professionals.
That's right.
That's right. You just need one Steve Kidder. You just need Steven in there.
Wow.
There you go.
As a friend once told me, there's drinkers and then there's professionals.
Right. You got to get in there and get professional.
Yeah.
There's Gary Moses coming in hot, coming in straight off the front page of the Advocate. Gary said, I had to learn quick, and I did.
Thank you for the love.
Unbelievable. So glad to see you, sir. That was a very nice
He was
article.
waiting in the car for you to mention his name so he could come on in.
I heard that. I said, I got to tell you, thanks for the love, boys. I love y'all.
We love you.
You're part of it.
You
You're part
folks
of it.
hang close.
Don't
because
forget, folks, Monday, Memorial Day ceremony at the county courthouse. Get
Yeah.
down there 11 o'clock, and please remember, nothing gets me stirred up more than people wishing each other a happy Memorial Day.
That's right.
Enjoy it. Remember why you are able to celebrate this Memorial Day despite draconian restrictions put in place by our
Absolutely.
government. But, we still are a free country, and please don't forget that this weekend. Take a moment to thank those who made the ultimate sacrifice and paid for your freedoms with their lives, folks.
Absolutely. Be well, folks. Have a nice weekend. Stay tuned for Ralph Salazar and Brother Gary Moses. Be here in a minute. We love you and have a great weekend.
Bye, folks.
Bye, YouTube.
Thank you, sir.
Always, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You're right.